Good day everyone and welcome once again to my channel. This time we are going to be having biology video lesson looking at questions for those that will be writing biology in their post UTME examination. Now these questions would be for all schools, not just a particular school. So any school you are applying for and then you'd be writing biology in your post UTME examination. Now this video is for you. Endeavor to watch to the very end because I'm going to be explaining so many concepts with regards to the questions that we are going to be tackling, about 15 of them. So on the board, we are having question 1. Question 1, a heart with 4 chambers is found in dash. A heart with 4 chambers is found in dash. And one thing that you need to know is this: whenever you are given any question in biology, endeavor to check the options so as to act as quick reminder, so as for you to know the exact area you have to take your mind and then you think towards. You get the point? So now considering the options, we are having fishes as option A, then insects option B, then option C is snails, then option D is rats. Now 4 chamber heart, if you go to the vertebrates, when we say vertebrates, we are referring to organisms with backbones. Of course, the evolutionary advancement of vertebrates goes in the pattern of param for short, for you to easily remember. Now the P is for Pisces, A is for amphibians, R is for reptiles, then while the next A is for aves, and the M there is for mammals. So for the Pisces, they are known, that's the fishes, they are known for their two-chambered heart. Then the amphibians, they are also known for their two-chambered heart. Then the reptiles, they are known for their three-chambered hearts, with the exemption of crocodile, which is having four-chambered hearts. Then aves, which are the birds, and mammals, they are known for their four-chambered hearts. Alright, so do we even have mammals among the options? Of course, yes. We have rat. Rat is an example of a mammal. So hence the answer is already obvious that it is D. Of course, snail. Snail is an example of invertebrate. And snails generally, they are known to have two-chambered hearts if you have studied much about your invertebrates. Then for insects, they are known for their single-chambered heart. And fishes, of course, from what I've said now, the Pisces, they are known for their two-chambered heart. Alright, so just know that the correct option to that question is option D, which is rats. Of course, rats are mammals. So the next question, question 2. During digestion of food, passage of chyme, the one you say chime, whichever way you pronounce it. Now, the passage of chyme through the duodenum enables it to become a watery liquid called dash. So now they are asking us that when the food, which is the chyme or the chyme, passes through the duodenum, it enables it to become a watery liquid called dash. If you have watched my video lesson on digestion, there was something I made reference to, that when food enters into the stomach, when it is there, it is called chyme, the one you see chime written on the board there. But as soon as the food leaves the stomach and then enters into the small intestine, of course, if you have watched the video lesson, I told you guys that in the small intestine, there are three different divisions. We have the duodenum, we have the jejunum, and we have the ileum. The ileum with the E, not the one with the I. Alright, so these are the three divisions of the small intestine. So the first entrance of the small intestine is duodenum, then the middle portion is the jejunum, then while the last portion is the ileum. So when food immediately leaves the stomach, it enters into the entrance of the small intestine, which happens to be duodenum. So that food, like I said, food in the stomach is called chyme. Then the moment it enters into the small intestine, then it passes through the duodenum. Of course, it is called chyle. When you say chyle, so you just remove the M and you replace with L. Alright, so that's the name of food in the small intestine. So do we have chyle in the options? Let's check. Option A, digested food, no. Chymatic product, no. Chyle, yes. So this is our answer. Alright, so just take note of that. Then the next question is question 3. Every mammal has dash. Every mammal has dash. Option A, one kidney. Option B, two pairs of kidneys. Option C, one pair of kidneys. Then option D, four kidneys. Now, when we say humans having kidneys, your body as a human, how many kidneys do you have? We have two kidneys. So two makes a pair, right? So you can as well say that humans they have a pair of kidneys. All right. So the correct option is option C, one pair of kidneys. All right. Don't say that humans have two pairs of kidneys. Because if you are saying that humans have two pairs of kidneys, you are simply saying that humans have four kidneys, which is wrong. Because two pairs simply means a pair is two, another pair is two. So when you sum up, you get four. So please, it is a pair of kidneys, or you can just simply say humans have two kidneys. All right. So that's the right answer to the question. Don't be confused and don't answer questions wrongly. You must think through. You must be logical in your thinking before you can get your answer. All right. Then question 4. Question 4. Emulsification of fats and oils is caused by dash. Dis thing is still coming from digestion too, and if you have watched my video lesson on dat, den you just with smiles on your face get your answer with ease. Now dis question is a very cheap one. Emulsification of fats and oils. Now you see dis word is a very big word, e seems to be very big, but it is not big the way you are thinking. Now, emulsification actually talks about the breakdown of large molecules of fats and oils into small droplets. I'm not saying that digestion has taken place. I'm only saying that, for example, let's say this is a large molecule of fats and oils. Now, for you to actually make the surface areas to be increased so as for the process of digestion to be effective, then what happens? You break it into small forms, small droplets, small droplets, small droplets, more or less like this. You get the point now, small droplets. So in this case, what is actually breaking down the fat molecules into small droplets is what they are asking us. And of course, that process is called emulsification. We are not saying digestion has taken place. It just wants to make the digestion process to be faster by breaking the molecules into small droplets. So what does that? What helps fats to be broken down into small molecules? That's what they are asking. A, lipase, which is not true because lipase are enzymes that act on, or lipases are enzymes that act on fats and oils. You get the point now? They are enzymes, they digest. So they are basically involved in digestion. They are not involved in the breakdown or the degradation to break it into small droplets. That's not their duty. It is only when fats and oils have been broken down into droplets, then these enzymes would now act on them. All right. So this one is not the work. Then ptyalin, of course, ptyalin is not even involved in anything pertaining to fats because ptyalin is actually present in the mouth. And of course, if you have studied digestion thoroughly, the enzyme found in the mouth is ptyalin, and ptyalin helps in the breakdown of carbohydrates, majorly cooked starch into maltose. All right, maltose is a disaccharide. Of course, starch is a polysaccharide. So what helps to degrade that starch or break it down to maltose is actually with the help of this enzyme ptyalin. Then for this guy, option C, trypsin. Trypsin is not involved in that aspect. It's not involved in fats and oils degradation or digestion, or it's not even having any business to do with fats and oils. As a matter of fact, this trypsin is actually a part of the pancreatic juice. Now, pancreatic juice is being secreted by the pancreas, and this pancreatic juice, it tends to contain three different enzymes: amylase, trypsin and lipase. Now this trypsin is the one that acts on proteins. It basically acts on the peptones because peptones is what you get as the product of degrading protein in the stomach, and then when it enters into the small intestine, it is in the form of peptone. So this guy will now help to break down the peptone into polypeptides. You get the point now? So that's the duty of that trypsin. Trypsin is not involved in fats and oils degradation. Then this guy is our answer, which happens to be bile. Now, bile is involved in the emulsification of fats and oils, meaning the breakdown of fats and oils into tiny droplets. Now, one very important detail that you need to take note of about bile is that bile is produced by the liver and it is stored temporarily in the gall bladder. Now, one very important thing that you need to know is this, that bile do not contain digestive enzymes. That would make sense because if bile contains digestive enzymes, they would not just emulsify fats and then stop there. They will actually what? Secrete their enzymes on the fat and then maybe to degrade. But no, they don't contain digestive enzymes. And of course, it is a greenish alkalinic substance having pH between 7 to 8. Of course, that's actually slightly alkalinic. You understand the point now? So that's one thing that you need to know about bile. It basically involves in the emulsification of fats and oils. Then we still have other functions of bile, like it tends to prevent putrefaction. When we talk about putrefaction, we are referring to decay. It tends to prevent decay of food materials in the small intestine. All right. So, and again, it tends to inactivate the the acidity. Tends to inactivate the acidity present in chyme. Remember, chyme is the food coming from the stomach, and of course, the medium of the stomach is acidic. So what tends to inactivate it is actually bile. Bile functions in that area because it contains bile salts, all right, that are alkalinic. Like I said, bile is a greenish alkalinic substance. So it tends to what? To neutralize the acidic effect or the acidic content present in the food coming into the small intestine from the stomach. So the duty of that guy is basically to emulsify fats and oils into tiny droplets. All right. Then number five, glomerulus is found in the dash. Now, considering all of the options, if you must have read different organs of the body, your answer is so obvious, it's the kidney. Why? Because glomerulus is a part of the nephron. And I guess you must have heard of the nephron before. When we say nephron, we are referring to the basic unit of the kidneys, meaning that that is where urine formation takes place. Nephron is also called the urinary tubules. And of course, if you study much about the nephron, then you get to know that the first part of the nephron is actually the glomerulus. Then coming down, you have the Bowman's capsule. When you sum up those two, you get the Mappesian capsule. All right. But that's not what we are about looking at. Let's just continue. Now, we have the proximal convoluted tubule, we have the loop of Henle's, the distal convoluted tubules, the collecting duct. Those are the different compartments of the nephron. All right. So, but one thing that you need to know is this, that they said glomerulus is found in where? It is found in the kidneys. Take note of that. All right. So let's see the next question. Question 6. In the respiratory system of man, diffusion of gases takes place in dash. So when we say the respiratory system of man, we are referring to the systems that are involved in respiration that's pertaining to humans. And of course, the lungs are actively involved in respiration. But now, these are the options: trachea, bronchi, alveoli, and bronchioles. Now, this trachea is actually known as the windpipe. The windpipe is not involved in diffusion of gases. This diffusion of gases simply means gaseous exchange. That's what they are asking. So they just hid the word here or words there with diffusion of gases. So the main thing is, where does gaseous exchange takes place? All right. So the lungs is involved in respiration, of course. Then on the surface of the lungs, we have tiny air sacs, and these tiny air sacs are actively involved in gaseous exchange. What are they collectively called? They are called alveoli. All right. So singular is alveolus. Then while the plural collectively they are called alveoli. So alveoli basically are involved in gaseous exchange. So the correct option is option C. Take note of that. Then the next question, question 7. Incisors are used for. Now, this thing is taking our minds to teeth. What are the types of teeth? We have the incisors, we have the canines, we have the premolars, and we have the molars. Now, the premolars and molars are involved in chewing and grinding, crushing of food. Then while the canines, they are involved in tearing. That's why if you check, those carnivores, they are actively having these strong canines that they use for tearing. They use to attack their prey, alright, to tear their prey. Then while incisors, they are used for cutting. So the work of incisors is for cutting. So they say incisors are used for cutting of food. So the correct option is option B. Then ovary, question 8. Ovary is to the female reproductive system as dash is to the male reproductive system. Now, what is ovary in females? Ovary simply releases or produces what? Eggs. And what are eggs? Eggs are regarded as the sex garment of females. So what organ produces the sex garments of females is the ovary. Then what about the one that will now produce the sperm of males is what? The testis. So let's check. Penis is not part of the urethra. Then testis is actually the one that is actually what produces the sperm, which is the sex garment of male reproductive system. Alright, so the answer is testis. Question 9. Possession of pinna. Possession of pinna. What is pinna? Pinna is simply the outer ear, this part. That's what's called pinna. So possession of pinna is a characteristic feature of dash. This question is a very cheap one. Now, what organisms can you actually see the pinna to be obvious, to be visible? It's actually the mammals, because the mammals, they have outer ear that is obviously seen. So mammals, reptiles, fishes, amphibians. Reptiles, fishes and amphibians, they don't have pinna that is obvious. It is only the mammals that have pinna, which is the outer ear or external ear. It is what leads to the auditory canal. And then, of course, from the auditory canal, you enter into the eardrum. From the eardrum, you enter into the middle ear, then the inner ear. So this guy or these guys are the ones that have, obvious pinna, which is the outer ear or external ear, the mammals. Then question 10. The nerve that connects the eyes to the brain are called dash. The nerves that connects the eyes to the brain. Now, if you have studied the eyes, I did a video on this channel. You can do well to check for that video on the human eyes. That's as part of the sense organs. Now, I made a statement in that video that the human eye has three layers. We have the outermost layer, the inner layer, and the middle layer. Now, the outer layer is called the sclera. Then while the middle layer is called the conrod layer, then the inner layer is called the retina. Now, if you check, the retina is where the formation of images occurs. So images are being formed on the retina. Alright, that is considered to be the photosensitive part of the eyes because it contains photoreceptors regarded as the rods and the cones. That's to the retina. Then there's a particular nerve that carries visual impulses from the retina, meaning images that have been formed on the retina will be taken to where? Will be taken through the optic nerve of the eyes and to the brain for what? Interpretation. So it is the if I when you hear the word optics, it has to do with light. And of course, what is sensitive to light as an organ of the body is actually the eyes. So hence, anything that has to do with optics is what is concerned with light. So this guy, optic nerve, is the nerve that carries visual impulses from the eyes to the brain for interpretation. Let's see the next question. Question 11. The thoracic region of the vertebral column of man is made up of, or we say vertebral column, we are simply referring to backbone. So another name for vertebral column is called backbone. So they are asking us for the thoracic region. So this is simply saying that there are regions of the vertebral column. In man, there are about 33 vertebral bones or vertebrae in man. So they are divided into 5 regions. What are the 5 regions? Cervical region, then the thoracic region, the lumbar region, the sacral region, and the caudal region. This is the cervical region. Then we have the thoracic. then we have the lumbar, then the sacral, and the caudal. Alright. Now this one is found in the neck region. This is found in the chest region. This is found in the loin or abdominal region. Then while this one is found in the waist or the hip region, then while this one is found in the tail region. Now what they are interested in is that 33 vertebrae, which are the vertebral bones. Now what are their divisions? We have about 7 to make up the cervical, then 12 thoracic, then 5 lumbar, 5 sacral, and 4 caudal. When you sum up everything, you get the 3 in total. So they are asking us that the thoracic region of the vertebral column of man is made up of how many bones? It's obvious now is what? 12. So the correct option is option D. Then the next question, question 12. Which of the animal below is poikilothermic? Let's break down this word, poikilothermic. When we say poikilothermic, we are referring to what? To cold-blooded organisms. They are simply organisms that their body temperature tends to vary with that of their environment. So it's not kept in a fairly constant condition. It means it varies constantly with what? With their environment. Another name for poikilothermic organisms is ectothermic organisms. Ectothermic. Then directly opposite to poikilothermic organisms, we now have homeothermic organisms. That's opposite to it. Homeothermic. Homeothermic are simply what? Warm-blooded animals or warm-blooded organisms. Alright. So these warm-blooded organisms, I can as well rename them as, instead of ecto, because ecto talks about outside. So it should be what? Endothermic organisms. While this one is ectothermic organisms. You get? So these homeotherms or homeothermic organisms, they are warm-blooded organisms. And if you are considering the vertebrates, talking about organisms with backbones, then you should be making reference to the param. Don't forget, remember I made reference to this previously. Now, amongst these 5 different classes of vertebrates, the last AM are the ones that are homeothermic, meaning they are warm-blooded, talking about the apes and the mammals. So only the apes and the mammals are warm-blooded. But the Pisces, the amphibians, and the reptilians, they are all cold-blooded. Alright. So only these 2 are warm-blooded, talking about the birds and mammals. Then for Pisces, the fishes, the amphibians, frog, toad, newt, salamanders, talking about the reptiles, lizards, snakes, and the rest of them, they all fall under cold-blooded organisms. So let's check the options. Of course, this is amphibian. This should be the answer. This should be the answer to the question. Alright, because the question is which of the following animals below is poikilothermic, meaning this is actually a poikilothermic organism. For chicken is an example of bird. The aves, they are warm-blooded, so this is wrong. Then bat is a mammal, not a bird, so this is also wrong. Then lion is a mammal too, so it's also wrong. These 3, they are homeothermic organisms. The only one that happens to be poikilothermic is toad, so that's the correct answer to the question. Then question 13. Which of these organs regulates the amount of sugar in the blood? Which of these organs regulates the amount of sugar in the blood? Now, these were the options provided. We have A. Liver, B. Kidney, C. Spleen, D. Pancreas. Now, the correct answer to this question is the pancreas. Why is the pancreas seen to be the correct answer? Because the pancreas contains special cells that are regarded as islets of Langerhans. Islets of Langerhans. And these islets of Langerhans, they contain the alpha cells, and they also contain the beta cells. The beta cells. Now, the beta cells, they secrete what is known as insulin. So the beta cells, they secrete insulin, then while the alpha cells now secrete glucagon. So insulin and glucagon, they are both hormones that regulate the blood sugar level. While insulin tends to process excess blood sugar into glycogen, meaning it tends to reduce the blood sugar level. Den the glucagon, when the body senses that there is actually a reduction or a drop in the blood sugar level, what happens is that this guy becomes produced, and when it is produced it tends to what? To elevate the blood sugar level, and there are mechanisms that are involved in this. A mechanism like glycogenolysis, that's actually advanced, that it tends to break down the glycogen storehouse and then to releasing more glucose into the blood. Alright, so this guy tends to elevate blood sugar level, while this guy tends to reduce blood sugar level. So what regulates the blood sugar level is being produced by the pancreas, because the pancreas is what secretes these two hormones, and these two hormones are actively involved in the regulation of blood sugar. So the correct option is option D, pancreas. So let's see the next question, question 14. Dash is an endoparasite. Dash is an endoparasite. When you hear the word endo, what should come to your mind? Within, inner, within. Meaning that they are parasites that tend to live within the host. So if we say parasites that live within the host, usually they are worms. Alright, so that's one thing that you just need to know. It's like a trick. Just know that endoparasites usually are worms. You understand? Then while ecto, you could have fleas, mites, ticks, bugs, and the rest of them. So they live outside the body of their host, while these ones they live within the body of their host, and they are usually worms. So let's check the options. Option A, earthworm. This is typically wrong. Why? Because earthworm is not parasitic in nature. As a matter of fact, it's not even found within the body of hosts or any host at all. Where you can find it is in soils, alright, and it tends to actually act as a detritivores. When you study your ecological management and all that, then you tend to understand better. I've even done a video lesson on that in this channel. You can do well to check. Then tapeworm. Tapeworm is an example of a flatworm. And of course, flatworms, so most of them are parasites. They are parasitic in nature. Then why just I think the only free living is actually planaria. Alright. Then why most of them they are parasitic in nature. So tapeworm is a good example of an endoparasite. As a matter of fact, it actually functions as an endoparasite in man. Now, in the small intestinal walls of man, you have these guys to be there, which are the tapeworms. Of course, the scientific name of this tapeworm is Taenia species. Taenia species. Alright. So we have different species of this tapeworm. We have the Taenia solium, the one that is found in the muzzle of pigs. We have the Taenia saginata, the one that is found in beef, that's talking about cattle, cow meat. And then we have the Diphyllobothrum lactum, the one that is present in fishes. And we still have more too. Alright. So this guy functions as an endoparasite. So our answer is already naked, which is this guy. So it's obvious that this is our answer. Mosquito is not a parasite, because it's not. When you say a parasite, it means that the parasite should be living on the body of the host or within the body of the host. So mosquito just comes, visits, and then moves. You get the point. So they are not parasites. Same with housefly too. Housefly are not parasites. So these two are not parasites. So the correct option is option B, which is tapeworm. Take note of that. Then the last question for today, or for this session, is question 15. An instrument used in measuring the speed of wind is. Now this question dey of ten repeat it in very many examination bodies. They love this question so much, because this is coming under the abiotic factors or abiotic component of ecosystem. An example is actually wind, and they bring instruments, all those different instruments that can be used in measurement of these different abiotic factors. Now, looking at the options, they said speed of wind. Don't forget, speed of wind. A, barometer. This is very wrong, because barometer is used for measuring atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure, that's the work of barometer. Then the one that is used in the measurement of fluid pressure is manometer. So we have manometer, which is used for measuring fluid pressure. Fluid pressure. You can find this even in your physics lessons on pressure. Then Wind gauge, I've never seen this, it does not exist. Then a wind vein exists. But it's just that one thing that you need to know is this: wind vane is used for measuring the direction of wind. Take note of that. Direction of wind direction is being measured using this wind vane. Then for the speed of wind is measured using an instrument called anemometer. So this guy is what they use in the measurement of the speed of wind. So not the direction. The direction is measured using wind vane, then the speed is measured using anemometer. Alright. So this is just like the series one. We are still going to be having multiple series. Don't forget, these questions are just for those that will be writing biology, expected to be tested on how well they understand their biology in their forthcoming post UTME examination. So do well to go through this series over and over and over again. I'm still going to be uploading more series in more videos that are yet to come. So if you are yet to be a subscriber of this channel, do well to hit the subscribe button or the follow button, and then you can do well to also share the video to your friends so as for them to be aware. Then you still have a bell by the side. You can turn it on to get notified whenever I post a video. You must be a subscriber of this channel in order to get the very best. So that's the more reason why you need to click on that subscribe button. So if you find this video helpful, you can leave a comment in the comment section, or if you are confused about any concept at all, you can ask your question in the comment section. I'll be there to reply you. All right, thanks for watching, and stay tuned to this channel as more videos are yet to come.